Namaste, Jai Shri Ram. Hope all of you are doing good. Today, let's speak about a new topic, that is marriage, marital happiness, and marital discord. Of course, we all know marriage. It is said that marriages are made in heaven. And in astrology, we get to know how it plays out on earth. Even without this, we have heard our elders, our parents, grandparents saying, Runanubandham, meaning wherever we have a runam, we get married there. That is the karma, right? Karma meets the companionship. That is what astrology says, and even the generic Indian parents or grandparents say the same thing, right? So marriage in astrology, we see it in the seventh house. Seventh house is also just opposite to the first house. It is the reflection of us. So when you see the seventh house, you get to know what kind of partner one attracts. It is because of the karmic patterns that flows through our different souls, the soul journeys that we have taken through. That is what we are going to attract. It is just not the way partner is, it is the way our thoughts, our karmas have been. That is how we attract a particular kind of a partner. So before blaming the partner, we got to see ourselves, how what we have accumulated for ages and for lives. That is what we are going to attract now. So this is one of the most intense and most heaviest karmic balances that we come here to settle. And also, you must have heard in case of childbirth also, they say this: if you don't have a child, they say you don't have any runas, you haven't made any debts which has to be cleared. That is why you don't have a child. We've heard people saying this, and that is true also. Here too, it is the same. The heavy karmic balances which has to be cleared, we get attracted to that particular partner and we get married. All right. So now we'll see what is the reason for the discord in the marriage and why these divorces happen. Okay. So usually what happens when we see the seventh house, immediately when people see Saturn, they say that, okay, it's going to be a bad marriage or it's going to result in divorce. No, it doesn't. It is not that simple. Astrology is not very simple. It is, this particular chart is going to be D1 or Lagna chart, right? Any conclusion we see, we have to also take D9, especially for marriages. Okay. So on the superficial level, when people see Saturn, they might say that it's going to be a marriage of discord and unhappiness. Now that really is not true. Okay. I'll tell you in the future, like, slightly ahead how it is. And another famous dosham is Mars. When there is Mars here, Mars also, it's going to be like aggression. You see aggression, anger issues, and also excessive passion in this particular Mars, if Mars is posited in seventh house. And if Saturn is posited in the seventh house, what happens is you see that there is going to be commitment, like responsibility. And also, like, Saturn is like a perfect labor who's committed to his partner or the boss, and he wants to do everything told by the boss or the owner. So he is a beautiful planet where he gives the loyalty, he gives the responsibility, and he does all the work for the Lord. For example, for Cancer and Simha, like for Cancer and for Leo, the natural zodiac signs, seventh house is owned by Saturn. You see, these people have this tendency of having, like, they give themselves so much to the partner. They literally work like slaves for the partner and take care of the daily needs or whatever. They take very good care of the partners. But yes, of course, because it is Saturn, there will be dissatisfaction. That doesn't mean there is going to be divorce, but yes, there's going to be intense dissatisfaction, pain, and unhappiness in the marriage, but divorce is not really possible just because of Saturn. Now comes Sun. When there is Sun in the seventh house, let us take Sun now. Sun is what? Sun is the king of all the planets. Sun is also one of the most strongest and the most egoistic planet. So when he sits here in the seventh house, there is also belief people where they say sun burns, right? Wherever he is, it's like so hot and he burns that house. But again here, he doesn't really end up in marriage or divorces. Divorces doesn't happen here. The maximum what they're going to have is ego clashes. They're going to have a lot of ego clashes, lot of like the bossy nature, dominating nature, and anger issues you will see. Okay, this is what Sun does, and Mars does aggression. And now the next malefic planet which people usually speak about is Ketu. Ketu here, when Ketu is here, when people see Ketu here, they say, no, it's going to be like detachment or divorce. No, divorce doesn't happen just by the position of Ketu. All right, Ketu, what he does is he gives a kind of dissatisfaction. Initially before marriage, they're so wanting to get married. They get married, they'll be so obsessed with the partner. Just like anything you say is my your wishes, my command kind of a partnership it will be. And after few years of 1 or 2 3 years, they'll be very detached emotionally. There'll be a kind of detachment. But again, in case if Ketu is in the Uchchasthanas like Dhanur or in Vrishchika, so when does that happen for Mithuna? If he's in Dhanur, he becomes the seventh lord. So if he's posited here, then it is not a problem for Mithuna. Okay, for Vrishabha, again, if he is posited here, it is okay. So that is like whenever he is posited in these two places, he doesn't even give that kind of detachment because it's his own house. So these are the things. And now comes the last other planet, that is Rahu. I'm speaking only about the malefic planets because those are the ones which we need to concentrate more. So Rahu, when he's posited in the seventh house, what happens is he wants always something out of the box, wants to try something new, wants to be always, he keeps looking out for different adventures, even in the marriage or outside the marriage. But again, it's always not true that immediately you see Rahu. No, it's going to be like that. You have to see the Navamsha, you have to see the star where Rahu is posited, and you also have to see the aspects. If by any chance, if Rahu is aspected by Mars being here, or if Saturn is here, see, he has the aspect of Mars, and Rahu also has the aspect of Saturn. So what happens? He has the aspect of two malefics. So for sure here you can understand that this is going to be a very problematic marriage. And this has to be not confirmed just by this, that you can't say it's going to be a divorce. You have to see where Venus is, how Venus is. If for example Venus is here, if Venus is here, it's like a very difficult position because Venus is in Leo. Leo is Sun's house and not a very happy place for Venus. So that's going to be a little difficult place. And what happens? For example, let's take Venus here in the Kanya or Virgo. So he is in the Nicha Sthanam or debilitation. Now what do you say? Which place is better, this or this? This place, when compared to these two places, this place is much better. Here again, because he is in debilitation, we can't say marriage is not going to be good. Again, you may have to see the Navamsha. and then take Navamsha and then consider things. And also, see, in astrology, you should just not be seeing the horoscope only with the Lagna. We got to also see through moon. Like, for example, if let me make this as moon. From here, you have to see how the marriage is. Make this as Lagnam or the ascendant, and now you see where how the placement is. So Rahu comes to the 8th house and Venus will be in the 7th house. So all has to be commemorated together and then come to a conclusion. So that is how it has to be, it has to be interpreted, and to check and to give a precise prediction. Okay, now let's go to the D9 and see how it is going to be. See, now here the D9, when we check in the D9 chart, this Lagnam, okay, if this Lord, the Lord of this is Mars, right? I've taken first house or Aries. So when Mars in the Navamsha chart, D9 chart, if he is afflicted, then it's going to be a little problematic. The person himself won't be much into marriage. He would like to be alone. He's not a kind of person who's like, wanting to have a partnership kind of thing. And if the seventh lord of D1 is afflicted in the D9, that can also be a little bit of a problem. And in D9 also we have to check Venus, the placement of the Venus. If Venus is well posited and if it is not afflicted by the malefic planets, again that can be a little kind of a healing situation for the marriage. So these are the things. And now let's come back to D1 and see. See, this will be the 6th house and 7th house, and this is the 8th house, right? When the 7th lord, this is the 7th house, this lord is Venus. When Venus is posited in the 6th house, what happens when we also say when the 7th lord is in Dusthanas, that is 6th house, 8th house or 12th house, these are called Dusthanas, right? Then there will be a little bit of a problem, it is usually said. But and in astrology, as Desha, Kal, Patra, things change a little bit. Like our K.N. Rao sir, respected K.N. Rao sir says, we have to decide the end of the marriage through the 8th house. 8th house plays a pivotal role in the ending of the marriage or the divorces. So now we're speaking about the 6th house. So when the 7th lord is in the 6th house, you don't have to come to the conclusion that it is going to be since it's a Dusthana, we can't say that it's going to be filled with a lot of conflicts and rivalry or court cases. No, because there is a kind of other aspects which has to be seen. See, for example, if this particular person has married someone in the relationship, in the relative circle, especially from the mother's side, okay, because 6th house is also the mother's relatives. Okay, so if that has happened, again, that's yoga gets nullified. That conflict gets nullified, or we can call it as aligned. So that is what happens here in this particular horoscope. And also we can say this wife will be working because it's the 6th house, right? The wife will be working, or wife will be a relative from the relative circle, or wife can be into something related to into a section, into a law sector, or somewhere into CA kind of work, like where there is accounting. We can say so. Okay, so not jumping into the conclusion that there is going to be a dispute or there's going to be a rift in the marriage. We can say that. Now coming to the 8th house, when 7th lord is in the 8th house, see, there is also a saying in Bhavarta Ratnakar saying that this can give property from the ancestral property of the spouse, that can be given. And also there is saying that the life of the partner or the spouse can be a little lesser. But again, with the Desh Kal Patra, we can kind of modulate a little bit, and we can also say this person can be secretive. This person might be having a lot of secrets pertaining to marriage, or pertaining to the property that he holds, pertaining to bank balances. Okay, so unless and until it is afflicted by more than 2 or 3 planets, nothing majorly wrong will happen in the marriage. All right, so this is what we can see. And now coming to the 12th house, again there they say it is not a very good placement. Yes, it is not. But in case if that particular person, the spouse, is working in a medical sector, or if he is anywhere connected to, or if he is traveling to the foreign countries very frequently, or he is married and he lives in a foreign country, or he works in a jail, then again we can say it is the marriage is going to survive a longer period of time without any problems. So these are the few things. Apart from that, you'll have to not forget seeing from the moon, checking from the moon, checking from the sun, Surya Lagna, Chandra Lagna, this D1, and also through D9. Only then we have to come to the conclusions. All right. So this is a small video pertaining to marriage and marriage, discord. Do comment and let me know where what you have in your 7th house and how the marriage is going. Okay, now let's see how it is, and do let me know if you want me to continue to give more videos like this pertaining to any topic. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and do let me know what video I have to make regarding which subject. I would be more than happy to make it when I find time. And yes, drop a comment saying what you have in your 7th house, and who's aspecting the 7th house, and what it is like. If you see any kind of alignment with the top points that I mentioned, do let me know. Okay, do comment box is yours. If possible, I shall also reply when I find a little time. All right, so take good care of yourself. Jai Shri Ram.